Did I ever tell you the definition of insanity?
I travelled to the capital city of England to play Far Cry VR, and in this video I'll be sharing my thoughts and telling you whether it was worth the journey. Now you might be thinking, why on earth would you travel for almost 3 hours when you can play VR at home? That is crazy. Well, first off, you're right. I wish there was a Far Cry VR game I could play at home, but unfortunately that's just not the case. Far Cry VR is a location-based VR experience, exclusive to Zero Latency. And as you've probably guessed, my closest Zero Latency location was in London, nearly 3 hours away. But as a big fan of Far Cry and VR of course, I decided to make the journey. Far Cry VR is not really a typical game. It's more of a multiplayer competitive arcade experience. You'll be competing for the highest score against up to 7 other people, and at the end you're giving your score and where you rank against the people in your team and everyone who's ever played at the venue. At its core, Far Cry VR is a social experience, and the best way to play it is with a big group of friends. But for me at least, that just wasn't possible, so I opted to join a random group of 6 with just one other friend. Now as for the gameplay itself, we were kitted up with a backpack PC and a HP Reverb G2. This was my first time using a G2, but I will say it's a very comfortable and lightweight VR headset. The backpack also wasn't too heavy, but the gun did become slightly hard to hold nearer to the end of the session. During the 30-minute experience, you'll travel from location to location shooting pirates and ducking out of harm's way. On top of these wave shooter sections, there are some occasional story moments, but they don't have much room to be effective in between the fast-paced action and already limited runtime. Despite the lackluster story moments, sometimes relying a bit too much on the initial shock of being in VR, the shooting sections are where the experience really shines. The environments you explore expertly take advantage of the freedom of motion, and you'll be shooting enemies coming at you from every direction. It really is an experience you just can't get playing at home. It even took me a while to realize that I wasn't just a couple of meters away from walking straight into a wall. The freedom you get from this type of VR is honestly unparalleled, and you won't know it until you try it for yourself. Although I wouldn't recommend traveling for almost 3 hours just to try it. I went into Far Cry VR somewhat skeptical about the future of VR arcades, and although I didn't leave with my mind blown, I did leave with my mind changed. There's no doubt VR newcomers will be amazed by experiences like this, and it could be a major step in them getting a headset of their own. And whatever helps getting new people into VR, I'm all for.